Recording is on.
Okay, I think because of time, we can go ahead and start. Yeah, so today we'll be having a session on um, mobile application tools or mobile applications that are available to help editing on OSM. Because so far we have explored tools that we can access through a browser on a laptop, and also a desktop application JOSA. So today I'm just going to look at also what mobile apps are available and um, what they do and how one can contribute. Um, yes. So for this session, we'll be led by Elijah Karanja, who works at the International Federation of Red Cross Societies, commonly known as IFRC, and he's also part of the OSM Kenya team. So without taking any more time, Elijah, you can take it away.
Thank you, Laura, for that introduction, and thank you everyone for taking time to be able to attend this session today. Hope everyone of you had a great day and a productive day as well. As Laura mentioned, I'm Elijah, OSM member and volunteer as well. So today we'll go through Mapswipe. So Mapswipe is a mobile application which was developed by the British Red Cross to help us all to collect data to enhance humanitarian response and development worldwide just by swiping. So basically, Mapswipe was a tool that was developed by British Red Cross just to help humanitarian response collect data during disaster response, and as well to enhance preparedness, maybe in cases whereby disaster is predicted to occur and preparedness needs to take place. So that's why as well Mapswipe takes place. It works more or less like tasking manager, but now this one is more of a mobile application, whereby this one is more of swipe and then tap on the box to see buildings or not. So I'll just dive into it. Please feel free to stop me through along the session. Feel free to make it as interactive as much as possible, and feel free to ask questions wherever you can. If you feel that I'm too fast, as well, raise your hand and tell me to take it slow. And feel free as well to share input as well where it's not clear. Without any further ado, I'll just dive into it. Just a minute. So, what is Mapswipe? So Mapswipe is it's an easy to use app, mobile app, which was created to help rapid mapping. So Mapswipe helps humanitarian organization to find population centers. Helps humanitarian organization to find population centers and as well take action where people need it at most. And so Mapswipe is a part of Missing Maps. So Missing Maps is more of a consortium or it's more of a consortium or membership organization whereby whereby HOT, Humanitarian Street Map, Red Cross National Societies, and as well you see like MSF and other NGOs that respond to disasters come together. So whereby they formed like more of a membership, which as well Mapswipe is part of it. So Missing Maps helps to fill in the gaps where map data is missing in disaster zones, and where whereby first responders can be able to use the data collected to save lives. So the purpose of where now Missing Map came into place is because each year disasters around the world, the increase due to disasters, and there was need to be able to curb this disaster and as well be able to efficiently respond to such disasters and as well to enhance preparedness during disaster. So that's why Missing Maps came together and formed more of a membership group whereby other NGOs that are in the same field can be able as well to tap into that and be able to respond and enhance preparedness. So why do you use Mapswipe? It's an easy tool to use. That's one thing I can say, and as well saves time. You'll be able to see that as we go on, and you'll be able to experience it as we go on. And I'm just hoping each and every one of you was able to download the application. If not, don't feel like you're left behind. We'll be able as well to help you after this if you're not able to download and as well register into the application. So Mapswipe is used by mappers at home, on during mapathons, and as well in the field. So it's a flexible tool. Can be used anywhere. Can be used anywhere. And as you can see from the picture depicting that a person in the field trying to map using Mapswipe. So these are these are community where mappers can be able to make unique and available impact now through an application. So how does Mapswipe save time if you compare to other, if you try to ask yourself, like, why do you have to use Mapswipe? So previously, mappers had spent most of their day scrolling through thousands of images, and like you see, let me give you an example of an imagery, like a Landsat imagery, or Google, let's say Google Earth imagery, whereby you have to scroll all around to see the images. So which takes a lot of time if you want to identify buildings or roads or rivers. So that's why Mapswipe came into place. So instead of scrolling, this one you just see boxes. So whenever mappers wanted to go and look for images or roads, or every time they had to scroll to thousands of imageries, and you could see some imageries as well not as good enough, and as well, even those who wanted to contribute remotely were not able to be able to participate or as well play a part in responding to such a disaster. So that's why now missing maps came in, and now it makes it easy to for mappers. And now it eliminates the needless work by volunteers, whereby they have to scroll each and every time to an imagery for them to identify buildings. So as you can see from the two imageries, there's one on the right and there's one on the left. So this would be a huge area huge area for people to map. And you see on the right, these are result of Mapswipe, much better. So what it does, it tries to identify like areas that have buildings already. So at least to help mappers to easily be able to identify and be able to capture the data on buildings. So how does it work? So how does the pipeline of Mapswipe work? So starting from the left side of the image where you can see the map. So a request from interior mapper is created. So once a request is created so once a task is more of a task, it's more like of a task whereby a task is created. Maybe we'll be able to see that maybe as we go on. So that's how it works. So this is just an overview, just a small overview before we go on to the application itself. So start with a request to maybe a request, maybe an urgent request where an area needs to be mapped. Let's say an example like Tackle Dam. Once so the data is created. So once the data is created, it's Mapswipe quickly creates available data. So it's able to identify the area that has been created, and then now the other side on the right side of the where you see hot. Now the hot tasking manager and OpenStreetMap use the data and add more details. So more or less, so this one is more like Mapswipe makes it easy for now the tasking manager now to be able to identify buildings, whereby now mappers can be able to identify buildings and buildings, roads, whereby if a task for example, if a task needs only buildings, now Mapswipe is able to identify those buildings. And in return, the tasking manager is able to now take that data that has been captured by Mapswipe and be able to use the data and add it where now mappers can be able to add more details during now mapping and adding buildings on the tasking manager. So it's more or less a task is created. Now Mapswipe is able to identify, now using Mapswipe, the user is able to identify buildings or boxes which have buildings. So once they have been identified, now it goes now to the tasking manager. Now the tasking managers, mappers, or anyone intermediate mapper, advanced mapper can be able now to add more details. That is a building, tagging them, as we did before during our mapathon or other days. So let's now get started. I'm hoping each and every one of you has an application with him or her. And before we dive into that, any questions so far, any inputs or any concerns before I continue? Any questions or any inputs?
Yes, Elijah.
Please do.
Yeah, so from your explanation, does it mean that the accuracy of Mapswipe in terms of mapping is low compared to the other web mapping platforms?
What I can say is that they're more or less the same. The difference that now Mapswipe, it's able just identifying boxes of areas that have buildings or have buildings. So this one is Mapswipe is only used as a tool to identify areas that have buildings. And now after that is done by Mapswipe, now we go now to the tasking manager, whereby whatever has been identified by Mapswipe, now the mapper now goes to the tasking manager, is able to map the buildings whereby they add the squares and add roads and as well tagging. So basically, it's more of a Mapswipe is more an easy tool, making work easier for mappers using tasking manager to be able to easily identify buildings. So they're more or less they're like complementing each other. Whereby Mapswipe identifies areas with buildings, and now the tasking manager is able to now map those buildings, tag them, and as well now mark them as done. So it's okay or
Yeah, it is okay.
fantastic. Thank you so much, and thanks for the question as well. Any more questions so far? Fantastic. So I think I'll just go to the next slide. So for those who have not been able to download the application, if you're using Google Android, you can as well go to Google Play, search Mapswipe, and you'll be able to see it. There's a latest version of that. If you are user of iOS as well, you can find it on the I think it's App Store, yeah, App Store. And then if you've downloaded it, so this is how it starts. For those who have already downloaded it, so I as well have an application with me here, so I'll just take you through as like the same as you guys, as if you're starting from start. So once you download it, you'll see this section. Just a minute, let's try log out on mine so that you cannot be on the same page. So the first thing when you open your Mapswipe application, this is what you see. You see a Mapswipe logo, and then you see a section there where it says English. So this is where you choose your language of choice. So for me, I'll just choose English. So I'm in this section, that section. So once I choose English, it will give me tell me welcome to Mapswipe. It will just tell you to swipe on the right, swipe, just takes you through like why we need Mapswipe. And then you'll see a section here where it says sign up. If you click it, now it will show you this section here where it says add a username and create a Mapswipe account. We're all together. Hope you're all together on that. Yeah, I hope you're all together on that. So it gives you an option whereby you have to add your username, your email, and choose your password. And as well, you have to agree to the privacy notice. So once you've already done that, if you're doing it now, we can give you some time, or as well you can do it as we just go, as we continue. So once you sign up and add your username, and you have already created an account, Let me just log into mine so that we can all be on the same page in a few. Just a minute, I'm trying to log into mine so that we can all be on the same page. Fantastic, it's in now. So once you log in, you're able to see this section, mission and more. So you can as well see other projects. So just tick there. So there is this will help you. So once you'll be able to see a tutorial, like will give you a lot of important tips and will help you to use the app accurate and as well as possible. Before that, before I do anything else, let me just go back a little bit. So I'm still there. I'm still on the, now I'm on this last section where it says add a username and create a Mapswipe account. So once you log in, so once you log in, you'll see on the top there something, either you see this one, let me just, you'll see mission, more, and when you click on the more section here, so when you click on the more section, you'll be able to see there's a change language, Mapswipe website, missing maps website, emails, email us, sign out, or delete accounts. But we want to go to that section, so our main focus will be on the mission section. So I want us now to either select any of the project on the top projects there. So this one, you see there's a COVID-19 response in Malawi. We're all on the same page. Are we on the same page, if I may ask?
Mali. Mine is reading Mali.
Sorry?
Mine is reading Mali, not Malawi.
Oh, that's okay. Perfect. Then you're on the same page now. I hope you're. Anyone else are left behind, or anyone else? Are you all on the same page?
Yes.
Perfect. Anyone else? So we're all on the same page. So that means we can see Mali COVID-19 response for Mali. Is it COVID-19 response Mali 24 Mali COVID condition? Fantastic. So I want us to. It's always important to take at least take. Sorry.
We are on the same page.
Perfect. So that means you can continue. So click on the COVID-19 response Mali, and then you'll see a section that says tutorial or map now. So I'll recommend us, let's first take the tutorial for us to see what it takes, and as well to, so press the tutorial section. Now we are here. Yes. So on my PowerPoint, you'll see like these are, so this is what they see. So this is the main purpose, like I was telling you. So Mapswipe like identifies buildings, which as well will be as well used on the other side of the tasking manager to help other people to map. So ideally, so for you to be able to identify, and you'll see on your phone, like you'll see like you'll first see a finger and an arrow saying on your left. So that means if there's nothing relevant in the images, simply swipe to the next screen. You can try to do that, but let's first go through that. And then if there's no one, tap once. If you see something in one of the images, tap once to turn the square green. If you see something, that is, you see a building. But if you're not sure about what you see, tap twice to turn the yellow, tap twice to turn the square yellow. And then there's a third option whereby you tap 3 times if there's an issue with the imagery. That means you have to tap 3 times if there is an issue with an imagery, so it can turn red. And then there's a tap again to return to the square if it's to its original state. We'll do that practically. So you'll see on the PowerPoint, you'll see that if you don't see any building, do not tap a tile if you find none of the features requested. So it's always important to, before you even go to any project, it's always important to go through the instructions so that you can know what do they need. Do they need buildings or do they need roads? So if any of the features that have been mentioned are not on your square, do not tap the tile if you find none of the features are requested. The tile remains the same. And as we said earlier, and then there is a green section. So the green section, if you've identified a building, that is, it has been on the instructions. It has been instructed that if a square has a building, we're trying to map the buildings. So tap once to identify. So when you tap once, that means you've identified a feature in the area in that square. And then you'll see something. Is it more of when it turns yellow, when you see a yellow color, that means it was tapped. That means that is, so you have to tap twice for it to turn yellow. So that means you've identified something, but it's unclear to you. So that means you're not sure on that. So that means if you've seen something but you're unclear, please just tap it twice. Just turn it yellow. And then there's a tap 3 times. That means if you have identified it's bad imageries, if it's clouds or something is missing or it doesn't show any imageries, tap 3 times for it to turn red. That means you have not identified a feature, and if something is missing or there's an issue on that. So I told you earlier on the more section. So we need to go through the more section. So it's always important. The more you use Mapswipe, it's more or less the same as Tasking Manager. You start from immediate, and then you go to from immediate to advanced. So the more you map using Mapswipe, the more you start from level 1. So I'm sure each and every one of us at the moment we're at level 1. So that means you have not yet dived into mapping. Any questions so far? So it's always good as well to identify the project types before you start mapping. So as I said earlier, tap on areas where you find signs of civilization, that is buildings. Most projects are in this format. So always tap areas that you know you're seeing something. But if you're not seeing something, either leave it as it is. And then project 2. You'll see like project 2 is also change detection. So indicate signs of change in settlement if you're looking for new or resized or removed buildings. Because you realize that because of different imagery, you can realize that some buildings are missing and others are missing. So that is project type 2. Project type 3. That is building and footprints. Check whether buildings have been drawn correctly or not. So that is project type 3. Now, just a minute. Just give me a minute. I think it is. Yes, I think we can continue as we so we'll do it now practically using our phones, as I was saying earlier. Just give me a few minutes, just a moment. Yes, so we're in this section. Can you still see my screen?
No.
Can you see
It's
my
blank.
screen? Sorry?
The screen
You
is
can
blank.
see it, but it's blank.
Oh, just a minute then. I think it went a little bit fast. Yes. Just a minute. Just, what about now? Can you still see it?
Yeah, something is visible. You're presenting the whole screen, and I
Tap
can
to
see the
identify.
PowerPoint.
Oh,
Yeah, tap to
so it's okay.
identify.
Aha, fantastic. So right now we're not fantastic. No, so right now you're on the phone now. I hope all of us are on the same page, but you just see says that this tutorial will teach you to and show you how to use Mapswipe here. So we are on the same page, isn't it?
Yes.
Fantastic. So I want you to swap to continue. So when you swipe and continue, you'll be able to see. So what are you seeing from your side, if I may ask? When you tap,
During that, so we begin with the tutorial.
yes. So we are still on the tutorial. So I just want us to go through the tutorial as well, so that you can all be on the same page. So basically, our tutorial just gives you like a clear overview, like what you should look for during the mapping practice. So basically, if you're looking for buildings and roads from the ground, it should be when you look it from the ground, you should just see the iron sheet. As always, use the same way you see when using the tasking manager. You see the iron sheets first, and then when you swap to the right again.
Oh, okay, Elijah, for my case, it is not moving. I'm still
Sorry.
on the first page, but it is telling me this. For my case, when I try to swipe, it does not move, but it tells me there is something here. Please map all of them.
So, which section are you, if I may ask?
Just after launching the tutorial.
So try swap on your right. Try swapping on your right.
It is not like it does not swipe.
What about
Okay,
swapping
the information.
on your left?
I think there's a tile on his screen that has a feature and is not tapped once on it.
And then tells you to show. So that means you're on the second after you've swiped. That is the second section after you've swiped, isn't it? You see like boxes, and then she tells you show answer, isn't it?
Yes.
So
Okay,
are we
on
okay?
my screen, what I'm seeing. Okay, I can see some buildings
Aha, fantastic.
on two tiles.
So I want you to click on areas that you see buildings on boxes and following the instructions on the PowerPoint. So if you see the feature that has been indicated our building, tap once. So we are looking for buildings and roads. So tap the boxes that you see buildings and road.
Done that.
Have you tried? What are you saying? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, I think we lost Isaiah. So.
So I think I will just continue. So from the side, that means you can see the box. So I want you to just select the boxes that you see. Those are imageries. That is houses and roads. If you see them, tap once. That means your box will change into green. And if you are right, and that means if you've tapped the right boxes, you'll see a tick. That means you've mapped the correct boxes that have buildings and roads. And then again, swipe to your left again. Do the same as you've done on the other one. Tap the boxes that you see buildings and roads, and then you see if you're correct. And don't forget the three guidelines. Tap once if you've seen the feature. Tap twice if it's not clear to you, and tap 3 times if it's a bad imagery or not. So are you on the same page? I'm ahead.
We are on the same page.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the feedback. So thank you so much. So that means from the side, you've been able to tap the buildings and hope it has given you. Let me just tap from my side, and then you can always check for your answers if they are right. Perfect. So that means if it's right. So if you want to check if you're right or if you're right, click show answers. At least it will tell you if you're right or not. And then swipe on your left again. But now this time, you'll see the instruction on the top. It will tell you, we are not sure if that is a building. So if you are unsure of that, that means you have to tap twice, as we said earlier. So we are seeing something that looks like buildings, but you're not sure if it's buildings or not, but you can see like some reflection. So what we'll do, this time, let's tap it twice. And if you tap it twice, it will change your color to yellow. So make sure you tap the boxes that you think that are not clear to you. So for me, I've tapped the 4 bottom boxes. Perfect. Are we all on the same page on that? So I think silence means you're on the same page. So that means scroll again on swipe on your left again. So are we on the same page whereby we are, after you have scrolled, you have swiped on your left, you'll see. So the next one tells you there's no building in the image. So that means no need to tap. So we leave it as it is. Don't tap it, but leave it as it is. Because you realize there are no roads, there are no buildings, just a forest and some shrubs. So that means that is not an area of so that means you're not interested in this area. So we leave it as it is. I hope you're all on the same page on that. So swipe again on your left. Again, the instruction says there are no buildings. No need to tap. Just swipe to the next screen. So that means, as I said earlier, during just before we go to and start mapping, it's always important to go through the instructions just to indicate to you, are we mapping buildings or are we mapping roads? So at least to give you a clear way forward, if it's building, we are looking for boxes that have buildings, or we're looking for boxes that have just roads. So for our case here, these sections, I'm on the section whereby where you're just seeing a brown road, and there's some, is it more of a crater? So we'll just leave it as it is. So there's no because there's no buildings at the roads as well. And then we are now I'm on the section whereby you're seeing clouds. Are you all there?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the feedback. So as I said earlier, so clouds, that means you can't see through. So that means it's either clouds are blocking you from seeing buildings. So that means when you see clouds, when you see a box that doesn't show either the imagery, that means you have to tap 3 times. So what you just do, tap 3 times the areas that you see clouds, and it will turn red from the side. And then just confirm your answers just to make sure that you're right. Perfect. That means you should have 5 boxes from your side. Just confirm with the answers. It's always important. So when you're done with that section, swipe to your left again. So this is another red flag, as I said earlier, clouds, and if you see sections that don't show imagery. So for that area, you'll see that imagery is not available. So that means you have to mark all tiles that don't show imagery, that are not showing an imagery. So that means you have to tap 3 times. So let's tap 3 times. Make sure it turns red. So it's always important to see that it has turned red. Always show your answers to see if you are correct. So mine has shown me that mine tells me that I'm correct. Hope you as well are correct from your side. So if you have done that from your side, swipe again on your left. Shows you the same practice, as we did from the other one. It doesn't show as well an imagery. So that means it's all bad imagery. So that means we have to tap those areas. When every tile is bad imagery, you can swipe down to. You can always swipe down to. So this is how they if all tiles are like bad imagery, make sure like you tap 3 times. Those areas that are bad imageries. So are you on the section after where it says don't worry if you're unsure about what you see in a square, tap twice, and then gives you just a clear instructions. Are you all there? And then taps and then when you tap you'll see a tick tells you you're ready to start map swiping. Are you all there? Are you all there on that?
Yes.
Perfect. So that means you can now start mapping. Let's now do let's try mapping. Just press start mapping from your side. So let's say if you press start mapping, you'll see the instruction, which says maybe someone can read for us from that. For one of the participants can just read us the instruction. Who will volunteer from our participants to read us the instruction? Valentine, you can read us the instruction, if that's okay with you.
Where it says at the request of the Mali.
Yes, perfect. That's a yeah. You can just read us the instructions.
Okay, at the request of the Mali Red Cross, HOT will be mapping an area roughly a third of the country. With your help through Mapswipe, we can pinpoint where mapping is needed, ultimately delivering the data faster so disease monitoring and response can be more quickly managed.
Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate that. So let's take a map now. Any questions so far before we start? Any question from us? Any question before anyone before we map some of the? So that means we are looking for on the top of the when you click map now, you see it says you are looking for buildings and roads. And if you've forgotten like the instructions, there's always that there's eye button on the top right corner. You can always click it just to gives you like a short and a brief overview of the instructions. So if you're seeing buildings, now you can try see. And there's a tip. If you're not able to see the imagery, always like long press. Then it will zoom itself. Long press, and then you see that tile will be able to like appear, will pop up as a bigger window. So personally, I'm not seeing any buildings, and I don't know if it's a forest. I'm not sure as well. So if you're not sure, always like long press, and then to see if it's clear from the side. If there are no buildings or roads, just leave it as that. But I'm seeing some areas on the buildings are more like brown, but I'm not sure. So that means you can either double tap, because you maybe you are sensing it's in their buildings, but you're not sure. So but you feel like you see like some small buildings. So I'll recommend maybe tap twice. So let me see this one. Are you seeing buildings from your side? Or it's unclear?
Actually, for me, I think the buildings on my side.
Are you seeing buildings from your side? Small ones, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The area seems to be a rangeland.
Sorry?
This area seems to be a rangeland. I can't see a building, only some patches of grasses and things like that.
For me, I'm saying like they have not built their houses using iron sheets. I think it's because it's too hot, so that's why they have not built their houses using iron sheets. But I realized when you scroll like to the far left, you'll see now you start beginning like seeing houses with iron sheets. Just scroll on the left, and then you start seeing some iron sheets, some houses with iron sheets. Are you seeing? Have you scroll on the left and then you see some? Just try scrolling to the far end. And if you feel like you're unsure of it's a building, remember to tap twice for it to turn yellow. If you feel you see some iron sheets which you know you're sure of that, tap once for it to turn green, tap twice for it to turn yellow, and tap 3 times if it's bad imagery, which I feel for this one. The imagery is okay. There are no clouds. So that means we'll just stick with the tap one and tap twice. So just scroll make sure you just scroll the imagery left, and then that means if you're comfortable with what your areas you've selected, if they have buildings or roads, and scroll to your left, you'll see a section that says, "Great job, you finished this group." And then tells you a complete session or continue mapping. Are you all there?
Yes.
When you scroll on your left, scroll, and then until you reach to the far end. So you can either choose a complete session. That means if you are sure of what you've selected, the buildings you've selected. And alternatively, you can either select continue mapping, or you can either select if you have completed the session, you can either if you say continue mapping, it will save what you've done, and then it will just take you to another area, which again you can contribute to mapping. So if you feel you want to complete the session, you can always complete it. And it shows you like your section or your project has been synced. So that means the data that you have collected has been able to be synced. Now it can be able to be used now by people who will be using the ID editor GeoSum to map the areas that have been indicated on the Mapswipe. Have you been able to see the section on complete session or continue mapping?
Yes.
Perfect. So I think that is it. That is the end of our session on Mapswipe. Any question, any inputs, or any? So that's how easy like Mapswipe is. It's all about swiping, tapping, double tapping, triple tapping. So it's all about that. So that's how easy it is.
Question.
Any questions so far?
Yes, one here. For
Please
this
do.
application, does it mean that more than 2 people can work on the same time? Because now that they have opened the app from different regions.
Yeah, it can do that. Yeah, you can be able to like select. So this one does not indicate that someone is working on this task. So people can be able to map one area like more than twice. But now once the data has been synced, there's always like an algorithm which detects the change between those two imageries. So that's why it comes through. So you can be able to identify those areas. Another person can be able to come and add just the same area. So, but the moment you assign that area, like kind of disappears and then leaves the rest of them. So that's why it people online, the same people online at the same time can be able like to map the same area the same time. But once it has been like synced, that area has been like disappears and then leaves the rest of the areas. Any more questions so far? So do you feel like comfortable using to use Mapswipe? So hope you all feel comfortable and confident to use Mapswipe. And that's why like in the beginning of the session, like we said, it's an easy tool to use because it's more or less swipe, tap and swipe, tap, and then complete your session. So it's more of an easy task to use. So any more questions before I dive to the next
Yes. for this tool, are you able to interact with the other users to maybe, like, for example, send them a message, something like that, like on the other lessons we learned before?
No, I don't think you'll be able to interact. I don't think you can be able to interact with users. So I think it's more of every person, but you see, I don't think you can be able to interact with users. Like if you're all on the same project, you can be able to interact.
Thank you.
Any more questions? So I'm hoping very soon the COVID-19 response Mali project, which is Mali COVID Coalition, maybe by the end of the week or by the end of the month, we'll have had 100% map. If you look at the project at the moment, it has is 69% mapped by 224 mappers. And if you go on the more section, you can be able to see how many tasks how many swipes you've done. For my side, it shows me 231 swipes and 16 3 tasks. So it's always important as well to keep track of your record as well. So it's always important to the more you map, always keep track of your tasks. So are we good to go to the next application, if that's okay for you guys?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. So the next one is Mapillary. Mapillary, again, it's an interesting as well. You'll get to see that. So from a side, if you've not downloaded the application, please at least make sure you have it on board. If not, don't worry, we got you. So don't worry on that. Our tutorial will be able to take you through on that. Let me just share my screen again.